Welcome back everyone. Today we are learning about relay. Relays are the switches which aim at closing and opening the circuits electronically as well as electromechanically. It controls the opening and closing of the circuit contacts of an electronic circuit. The main operation of this device is to make or break the contact with the help of a signal without any human intervention. Relay work on electromagnetic principle. When a voltage is applied to the relay coil, current flows through the coil, which in turn generates a magnetic field. The magnetic field attracts the armature core and moves the contact point. The movement of the contact point changes the power or signal flow path. Relays are available in different configuration. Open single pole single throw relay. The circuit is normally open and it becomes closed when the relay is energized. For normally closed single pole single throw configuration, the circuit is normally closed and it becomes open when the relay is energized. For single pole double throw relay, there are two paths for information flow and they are selected by energizing or de-energizing the relay. Now let's look into piezo buzzer. A piezo buzzer is a normal buzzer where you would have seen it, a buzzer. Piezo buzzer is a piezoelectronic device for generating audio indications in embedded applications. A piezoelectronic buzzer contains a piezoelectric diaphragm which produces audible sound in response to the voltage applied to it. Piezoelectric buzzers are available in two types, self-driving and external driving. Now let's look into push button switch. It's an input device. Push button switch, you would have generally seen it, a push button, a simple push button. Push button switch comes in two configuration, namely push to make and push to break. In the push to make configuration, the switch is normally in the open state and it makes a circuit contact when it is pushed or pressed. In the push to break configuration, the switch is normally in the closed state and it breaks the circuit contact when it is pushed or pressed. Now look into PPI, Programming Peripheral Interface. PPI devices are used for extending the I/O capabilities of processors or controllers. Most of the processors or controllers provide very limited number of I/O and data ports, and at times it may require more number of I/O ports than the one supported by the controller or a processor. A programmable peripheral interface device expands the I/O capabilities of a processor or controller. 8255A is a popular PPI device for 8-bit microprocessors. We have completed sensors and actuators. Let's move into communication interface. So what's a communication interface? Communication interface is essential for communicating with various subsystems of the embedded system and with the external world. For an embedded product, the communication interface can be viewed in two different perspectives: device board level communication interface, on-board communication interface, and a product level communication interface. Now let's look into on-board communication interface. So the communication channel which interconnects the various components within an embedded product is referred as device or board level communication interface. On-board communication interface refers to the different communication channel or buses for interconnecting the various integrated circuits and other peripherals within the embedded system. You can see the diagram here how many onboard communication interfaces are there. It's inter-integrated circuit I2C, serial peripheral interface, and universal asynchronous receiver transmitter, one wire interface, and parallel interface. We will study one by one. Let's first look into I2C. Invented in 1989 by Philips Semiconductors. It is a half duplex, one directional communication at a given point of time. Synchronous communication protocol. The I2C bus comprises of two bus lines, namely serial clock and serial data, multi-master, multi-slave, widely used for short distances. The master device is responsible for controlling the communication by initiating or terminating the data transfer. sending data and generating necessary synchronization clock pulses. Slave devices wait for the commands from the master and respond upon receiving the commands. Master and slave devices can act as either transmitter or receiver. Regardless whether a master is acting as a transmitter or receiver, the synchronization clock signal is generated by master device only. The sequence of operations that goes into I2C communication. The master device pulls the clock line of the bus to high. The master device pulls the data line to low when the SCL line is logic high. This is the start condition for data transfer. The master device sends the address 7-bit or 10-bit wide address of the slave device to slave which it wants to communicate over the SDA line. Clock pulses are generated at the SCL line for synchronization the bit reception by the slave device. The MSB of the data is always transmitted first. The data is in the bus is valid during high period of the clock signal. The master device sends the read or write bit according to the requirement. The master device waits for the acknowledgement bit from the slave device whose address is sent on the bus along with the read or write operation command. Slave devices connected to the bus compares the address received with the address assigned to them. The slave device with the address requested by the master device responds by sending an acknowledgement bit over the SDA line. Upon receiving the acknowledgement bit, the master device sends the 8-bit data to the slave device over SDA line. If the requested operation is write to device. If the requested operation is read from the device, the slave device sends the data to the master over the STL line. The master device waits for the acknowledgement bit from the device upon byte transfer complete for a write operation and then sends an acknowledgement bit to the slave device for a read operation. The master device terminates the transfer by pulling the STL line high when the clock line is high. Now let's stop here. In the next class, we will see serial peripheral interconnect. Thank you.